Well, when I first published it in Multitudes, the dedication was to Joy Graham. And I don't think she liked that. It wasn't, well, it wasn't meant to be, a compliment. So I think she took offense, so I removed the dedication this time. And when Multitudes was reviewed in Publishers Weekly, it was reviewed by some folks who were sort of like predisposed toward her, and so got a mixed review. But the title is the poem itself. It's a long time. I don't know what happened to me at this point. I was trying to be associative, more associative than I am normally. Composition for white critics who think African American poets cannot work in contexts of pure concerns for language and postmodern 21st century inventiveness in lyric expression, due to their self-limiting concerns with language as a means of self-expression and racial cultural identity in poetry that is ultimately perhaps beautiful, however too trite and too folksy to be post-THEORIST efficacy. And laptops on commuter flights, prop jets, and peanuts with soda, considering the last fate of this turning in the jar, turning, down the withering task of tumbles of white rabbits with watches, like Flavor Flav. Get out of here, Flavor Flav, blues ripping over the precipice of an amanuensis, turning into an insect crab, creeping into the crescendo of howling arias of Verdi's Porgy and Bess. I see you now. It is time for coffee. Give me the complexity of knowing, the gratitude of waking and wondering which window to thank for apples in the window, becoming more red, redder than candy apple red, a cosmic significance of not ever having a childhood, and realizing how such burdens as being less than an adult require the synthesis of forms, of flowcharts, of lotus spreadsheets, a sexual arrangement in Tibet. I greet you now, after this long trek to this point, this grove of pointed hedges where all time changes, and you gain or you lose or you understand there is no death, only a perception of what it means to not breathe. This timeliness of looking back some 400 years and figuring the power of being able to tell some gross lie and call it history, hoping the prophet will land you a patio overlooking some wave crashing in on a commercial for the Caribbean. Meadowlands in the crevice of Carios. What matters is this weaving of textures of night, sky floating over the stars, as in a night before a day of raining, when you can look out and see the gloom to fall on all you had hoped to do, accomplishing little, as who will ever know we were here if everyone falls asleep at the machine. Just before the self-conscious narrative awakens and slaps your grandma into some bootleg distillery during the casting cattle, and you awaken understanding nothing except thighs on the throne in the basement. The admonition fathers give you of being kind to the dumb poor, as the poor are all dumb. Listen, it's Falstaff running in the accounting. What now, Caliban in your old Chevrolet Impala? And leaping over the Wall Street disclosures and closures over any hope you ever had of ascending to the Lyceum of Tootsie Rolls. Washing the hands of your dreams in bleach and dishwashing liquid. Oh, what could be more tragic than dirty beans and rice? The melting of the sauce turned to some letting out of blood, away from the necessary folk richness of fables. Pitchy Patch Man running alongside Cahoolin, Kingston and the Lurches, busy Mennonite women making shoe-fly pie in the afternoon windows in black arrangements, some Haitian cherub peeping in through the gesticulating head of graffiti on the walls. Cross, crisscross, cross Bronx Expressway, the way you wear your clothes backwards, dirt in the bloody beans and rice, and from the aisles, screech, Charlie Parker, screech. Screeching in the cruelest month, make tea with the man in green makeup, leaning over the bank ledge to predators and robbers, and a Negro bar, the Negro says, aren't we all Sicilians here? And we must get home by 7 as Elaine and Bobby must get to their archery lessons, and the dogs must get their shots, and the utility vehicle needs another manicure, and the shadows of the lilacs in the last store. Oh dear, did we thaw the roast? On the train up the Mississippi to some distant point, a fading spot in the darkening window where we will be held forever and forever, tasting the harvest of tea leaves handed to us one day at a time, with slices of banana bread, reading Trollope. Oh God, the torture of details in British. I want to know, said some minister arraigned before God on a Tuesday when every available angelic public defender was out somewhere being laid, out in the sun, so close and not melting, as we watched the butter churn in the bowl and melt for homemade pound cake. Having heard the announcement about the end of downtowns, now centers with no cartography, and we add raisins, peeping into the bowl, ready to put in the mixed masher to swirl along with the flour, I can't imagine a world without me, said the reader in the reading room, safely ensconced in words that are capable at any time of absolute and murderous rebellion, leaving off the shells, abandoning syntax and punctuation, leaving off sound to become, now Tommy, stop stabbing the dog, bigger than V, destroy the planet we wasted before they threw us here to earth, the virtual entertainment chewing Big Red. Anyone for Big Red? The first 4 notes of Dizzy's Blues, please, in the software. Message returned to archives. Your mailbox is empty. The first 4 notes of Dizzy's Blues, please. Random. Play this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/4 time. Wide angle. Sweet. Fire. Bird. Sweet. America. Oh my poetry. America. Fade to palm trees in Los Angeles. That's the Rap Boys. Let's call it a movie.